Why would you think that that made it okay for you, without any advance notice, to bring this matter before the jury? That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country.
Blake Lively's legal defense has come under intense scrutiny after her once confident strategy unraveled in the face of a new judicial review. What began as a fragile case has now turned into a complete legal reversal, following an appeal that exposed serious irregularities in Judge Louis J. Lyman's earlier rulings. The situation escalated when appellate attorney Brian Friedman successfully challenged the decision, citing potential bias and undisclosed connections tied to Lyman's family. In response, Chief Judge Deborah Ann Livingston approved an official investigation, effectively ending the quiet judicial protection that had previously shielded Lively's side. The controversy first took shape when Judge Lyman unexpectedly dismissed two central claims from filmmaker Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, those directly accusing Lively of reputational sabotage and breach of trust. His justification was brief and ambiguous, referencing jurisdictional limits and a supposed lack of merit. Yet to many observers, the reasoning appeared unconvincing. Within hours, legal commentators and analysts questioned the legitimacy of the ruling, describing it as premeditated rather than impartial. That skepticism fueled a wave of investigative reporting that uncovered troubling connections between Lyman's family and Orion Talent Group, a Hollywood agency with direct business links to Lively's professional network. Orion Talent Group wasn't just a casual affiliate, it had managed deals, sponsorships, and studio negotiations associated with Lively's brand and production ventures. Once this connection surfaced, what had appeared to be a weakly justified court decision began to look like a clear conflict of interest. The fallout was immediate. Lyman's failure to disclose his brother's financial relationship with Orion was viewed as a breach of judicial ethics, particularly given prior criticism of his impartiality in entertainment-related disputes. Baldoni's legal team responded swiftly, filing an emergency appeal to the Second Circuit Court on June 8, 2025. The appeal accused Lyman of procedural corruption, conflict of interest, and a deliberate distortion of due process. The appellate court's response was both rapid and severe. Within 2 days, the panel not only overturned Lyman's decision but issued a written opinion condemning it as procedurally inconsistent and legally unsound, a rare rebuke that experts described as bordering on an accusation of judicial misconduct. The opinion even contained a footnote referencing possible external influences on Lyman's judgment, an unmistakable sign that the court suspected unethical behavior behind the scenes. As media coverage intensified, reporters from The Hollywood Courier and Deadline Legal confirmed that Lyman had been referred to the Judicial Conduct Review Board for investigation. Within a week, Law 360 and Insider Legal Weekly verified that federal authorities were examining undisclosed financial ties linking Orion Talent Group to Lyman's brother through indirect compensation structures. Under mounting pressure, Chief Judge Livingston issued a reassignment order, formally removing Lyman from the case. By early June, the case was reassigned to Judge Teresa Miguel, a former federal prosecutor known for her tough, no-nonsense courtroom approach. With a record of 21 celebrity-related indictments and a reputation for confronting media manipulation head-on, Miguel immediately shifted the tone of proceedings. On June 2, she reinstated all 4 original claims against Lively: breach of trust, reputational sabotage, violation of confidentiality agreements, and intentional interference. Her directive was simple and decisive: the era of influence and selective leniency was over. Judge Miguel also ordered Lively's legal team to resubmit evidence previously ruled inadmissible, including metadata logs, private email chains, and communications from Lively's PR team dating back to 2020. Sources close to the court indicated that she was also reviewing a motion for forensic access to deleted iCloud backups, which Baldoni's attorneys believe contain proof of internal sabotage. For Lively's defense, this meant the case was no longer about public image, it was about accountability. In court, Miguel made her position clear. During an early hearing on June 5, she interrupted lead defense counsel mid-sentence, stating firmly, "This is not a press tour. If you have a procedural objection, cite it. Otherwise, we move forward." And forward it went. Miguel scheduled a pre-trial evidentiary hearing for July 12 to determine whether reintroduced recordings and testimony would be admissible evidence that had been buried under the previous judge's dismissal. The shift in power within the courtroom was dramatic. During a June session, Lively's lead counsel was overheard describing the reinstatement of evidence as an ambush with new precedent, revealing the internal strain on the defense team. That tension worsened when, days later, a redacted document mistakenly attached to a filing exposed internal communications referencing a crisis PR plan titled Project Optics. The leaked memo outlined steps to suppress negative coverage, monitor social media platforms, and delay unfavorable press leaks. One note even instructed the team to neutralize key podcast voices before an upcoming hearing, an apparent attempt to control legal commentary across digital platforms. The consequences were swift. 2 junior defense attorneys resigned, citing ethical conflicts related to withheld metadata and improperly logged communications. Meanwhile, Baldoni's side filed a sworn affidavit from private investigator Trevor Mencher, alleging that Lively's legal representatives had directly contacted witnesses without notifying opposing counsel. Judge Miguel responded by scheduling a closed-door session to discuss potential witness interference, signaling that the investigation was far from over. Outside the courtroom, the damage to Lively's professional network became apparent. Industry insiders reported that several of her longtime collaborators, including a streaming executive and 2 brand partners, had cut off contact entirely. The leaked Project Optics memo went viral, sparking online debates under hashtags like #ProjectOptics and #CourtroomCrisis. Then came the evidence that changed everything. Judge Miguel reinstated several key recordings previously deemed inadmissible. Among them was audio file A4C, a verified 10-minute phone conversation in which Lively's voice could be heard saying, "I'll make sure he's blacklisted quietly, no fingerprints." A forensic report confirmed the recording's authenticity. Another file, audio B9E, captured a separate discussion referencing Baldoni's mental health project and included remarks interpreted as an attempt to pressure a major streaming platform to cancel the production. Further digital evidence deepened the scandal. Investigators decrypted an encrypted email thread labeled Exhibit P33, which detailed strategies titled Coordinated Media Erosion and Kill the Mental Health Angle. The document outlined plans to manipulate coverage timelines and social media narratives to discredit Baldoni's project. While 2 journalists named in the thread denied involvement, both disappeared from public platforms shortly after the document became public, fueling additional speculation. By mid-June, legal experts were openly discussing the potential criminal implications. Harvard law professor Ella Colby stated that the mounting evidence could support charges for reputational sabotage, tortious interference, and conspiracy to suppress competition. Judge Miguel subsequently convened 2 closed hearings to evaluate whether Lively's conduct represented a repeated pattern of unethical behavior under Federal Evidence Rules 403 and 404(b). As of now, more than 230 pages of reinstated material, including emails, encrypted files, and sworn affidavits, are under review. What began as a dispute between collaborators has evolved into a far-reaching legal crisis implicating questions of power, influence, and media control. The roots of this case trace back to February 2025, when filmmaker Justin Baldoni filed a civil suit against Blake Lively in the Southern District of New York. Their collaboration, a project titled Unspoken, was originally conceived as a documentary exploring male vulnerability in the entertainment industry. The project, co-produced by Baldoni's Wayfarer Studios and Lively's Emerald Narrative, had drawn interest from Apple TV Plus and Participant Media before abruptly collapsing. According to Baldoni's complaint, confidential materials from Unspoken were leaked to a rival studio that soon began promoting a nearly identical concept. Forensic analysis showed that the leak originated from a shared drive accessed by someone within Lively's production network. The complaint went further, alleging that Lively's team had orchestrated a coordinated defamation effort, spreading rumors through blogs and influencer accounts labeling Baldoni as manipulative and opportunistic. Metadata tied several of those posts to a PR firm within Lively's circle. Public backlash was immediate, with hashtags like #StandWithJustin trending across social media. Subsequent filings revealed internal emails from Lively's staff describing strategies to undermine Baldoni's reputation and frame him as unstable. Forensic specialists later discovered deleted backups from Lively's iCloud and Google Drive accounts containing files titled Greenlight Kill Folder, filled with notes and tracking spreadsheets related to online narrative control. Metadata traced the documents directly to devices connected to Lively's production office. One key associate, Lively's former assistant Jean Hart, fled the country mid-deposition and has not returned. Another witness invoked the Fifth Amendment during questioning. Despite repeated claims of fabrication from Lively's team, no counter-analysis was submitted before the court's deadline, prompting Judge Miguel to issue a formal warning for non-compliance. Now, with hundreds of pages of digital evidence, communication logs, and recorded exchanges before the court, what once appeared to be a creative dispute has transformed into a case study in manipulation and power. Under Judge Miguel's supervision, the case has shifted from celebrity drama to a broader legal reckoning, one that may redefine accountability in Hollywood's tight-knit ecosystem of influence.